What do you think of the behaviour of Professor Phil Jones in asking colleagues to delete emails and the destruction of publicly funded data was gathered by public funds?
I don't know what he asked, what he said. I don't make comments on redacted emails presented to me by people whose values I don't trust. I would have to see the whole thing, so I cannot very well comment. What I can say is that private communications that people have between each other certainly are not public documents. And
but the university has confirmed they are accurate.
Everybody says privately. Well, no, I agree, we'll make it short.
I'm going to have to shut that off for a second, please. Can I just see a badge?
Sorry, I have a member of the press. I want that to be a professional.
If you don't shut that off, I'm going to take it away from you.
Sorry, so we have the press.
I don't care. I have to shut it off. If it happens again, take it away from you, you're going out. Down instead. Thank you very much.
He won't debate anybody. The IPCC isn't really a bunch of scientists, a bunch of UN globalists. Are you guys looking into this stuff? Are you aware that he won't debate? Are you guys allowed to cover things like this or not? Would your bosses let you tell the real story about real Americans out here?
Sir, could you comment on the emails and documents that were revealed that were hacked on ClimateGate? ClimateGate says that the research is a fraud and it's fraud manipulated. Can you give a comment? Can you give me a comment, sir? It's fraud.
Eugenics operation. Don't touch me. This is a eugenics operation.
Maybe that, Mr. Gore, is good science that shows that 31,000 scientists are speaking out against your eugenics club of Rome agenda, sir. The New World Order will fail, and we realize that this is against our sovereignty. I have a First Amendment right. You do not need to assault me, sir. I am leaving. I am leaving. You do not need to assault me, sir. I have a First Amendment right.
Everyone agrees that climate change is the biggest challenge facing humanity. That's the constant claim of the political elite, and it's a lie. Everyone does not agree. Thousands of scientists dispute the very existence of man-made global warming, citing natural cyclical changes that saw vineyards in Roman northern England and a Swedish army march over the frozen Baltic in 1658 to Copenhagen. As an army of global warming zealots marches to Copenhagen, the truth is that their Orwellian consensus is based not on scientific agreement, but on bullying, censorship and fraudulent statistics. In the words of leading climatologist Professor Lindzen, future generations will wonder in bemused amazement that the early 21st century's developed world went into hysterical panic over a globally average temperature increase of a few tenths of a degree, and on the basis of gross exaggerations of highly uncertain computer projections contemplated a rollback of the industrial age. In fact, there will be no bemused amazement, for the reason for this hysteria is clear. It is designed to provide the excuse for a political project of the globalists to replace national democracy with New World Order global governance. It has nothing to do with science and everything to do with the globalist common purpose to tax and control us while making billions for corporations in the green industrial complex. The anti-Western intellectual cranks of the left suffered a collective breakdown when communism collapsed. Climate change is their new theology, a secular religious hysteria complete with Pope Al Gore, carbon credit indulgences and the persecution of heretics. But the heretics will have a voice in Copenhagen, and the truth will out. Climate change is being used to impose an anti-human utopia as deadly as anything conceived by Stalin or Mao.
Al Gore, 2 years ago, got caught claiming that carbon dioxide goes up and then temperatures go up. He actually flipped the graphs. Temperature goes up and then carbon dioxide goes up. Different universities, and some of the ones named in these emails, have been caught faking temperature readings from buoys
and weather stations around the world. They always claim it's an accident. This chief United Nations scientist, Phil Jones, over the last 5 years has refused to release any of his data, though it's being used for the UN to call for this global climate tax and to ban big televisions and to put tax on beef and taxes on having more than one child, total control of our society. And they won't release the source data because so much of what is in these reports put out by this university and others has already been proven to be a fraud. And when scientists come out and say, well, your information is a fraud, and we have the actual weather readings from the sources you quoted, they say, shut up, you're a conspiracy theorist, you're paid by the oil companies, we're not going to let you look at our data. This is ClimateGate, number one. Number two, the emails are real. Number three, all the key UN data comes from these fraudulent sources. They would not show the public their data. This is scientific fraud and persecution of scientists that disagreed with them. That's also in the emails, how to persecute, how to blacklist, how to fire people, how to shut people down. I mean, this is criminal racketeering. They also have the fraud of saying there's a total consensus, not one scientist doesn't believe that carbon dioxide is deadly poison and that we're all going to die if we don't tax it or ban it or restrict it when humans exhale 5.5 pounds of it. So they're also saying there's total consensus, even though 30,000+ scientists sent letters to Congress.
We have tried and tried and tried to get a debate on global warming with scientists on the other side. Al Gore or any of the scientists behind him over at the UN IPCC, we'd love to have a debate with them, but they say, oh no, the debate is over. Yeah. Well, now there are 30,000 of us. We have 30,000 scientists, 9,000 PhDs, who have signed up to debunk global warming. And they still won't listen to us. You realize that Fox is the only cable network that will put us on the air. CNN won't. That other thing, MSNBC, it won't. CBS, ABC, NBC, they scoff at us. We can't get on the air. If it weren't for the internet, you wouldn't even know I existed. Yeah, no, that's true. The whole deal is that somehow we have to be heard. So we figure maybe a court of law. Then Al Gore learned a little bit about CO2 in college. One course, learned a little, and all of a sudden he became an expert. So he becomes vice president. The UN starts foisting this thing on us. And the media, which loves a crisis, loves to tell us that the world is coming to an end, the media jumped aboard, and once the media was aboard, so you got the UN, you got Al Gore, you got the media, what are the politicians going to do? They follow. A professor at American University named Michael Mann created a graph of temperatures through millennium flatlining and then shooting up at the end, the shape of a hockey stick. And the UN panel said, ooh, love that. Yeah. And they kind of made it their Bible, and it became the cornerstone of their whole campaign. Now it has been proved, without a shadow of a doubt, to be built on absolutely bad science. You can put any data into that formula, and it'll come out a hockey stick no matter what. Well, you know, John, the whole thing was manipulated.
John, these emails show a pattern of suppression, manipulation, and secrecy that was inspired by ideology, condescension, and profit. They read more like scientific fascism than scientific process.
My reaction was somewhat vindication because I gave a speech on the Senate floor 4 years ago. And in a related conversations where scientists had come to me and saying that this is not objective science, they won't allow dissenting views and all these things that are in these memos.
Y se pretenda presentarlo al mundo como la solución. Desde ya lo impugnamos. Porque nosotros no conocemos ningún documento tampoco. Han estado circulando por ahí versiones y documentos poco transparentes. Eso hay que reclamarlo.
La temperatura en el mundo se incrementa a 2 grados centígrados. Y eso es eliminar, acabar con las islas en el mundo. Eso es acabar con las nevadas de las montañas de todo el mundo. Semejante propuesta no podemos aceptar, por supuesto. Venga de donde venga esta clase de documentos.
Hey, Mr. Gore, Mars has also been experiencing a global warming.
Press here. Just photo op.
Since man can't be a factor on the planet Mars, do you think that Mars is global warming?
Thank you.